The FCC wants their providers to rip out and replace technologies made overseas. The United States will be competing in the International Cybersecurity Challenge this year. A $1 million van is being used in Phoenix to detect cracks and potholes in the street, and the new Star Wars hotel. What to expect and the cost. All that and more next on the Computer Doctor Show.
You're listening to the Computer Doctor Show, your source for technology subjects affecting your business and personal life during this new normal. Your host is an award-winning office technician and IT specialist, author, tutor, ethical hacker, and recent winner on localbest.com as the best computer shop in Tucson. Broadcasting live, here's Aaron Moss.
Good afternoon, everybody, and on the radio waves and streaming. Welcome to the Computer Doctor Show, your headquarters for up-to-date scam awareness, science, and cutting-edge technology talk. This is episode 78. I'm Aaron Moss, your host. Thanks for tuning in with us every Saturday at 2 p.m., and we post all of our shows and bonus content on computerdoctorshow.com. Again, computerdoctorshow.com. We'd love to hear from you, so give us a call during the show with your computer and internet and cybersecurity comments and questions on our open studio line, 520-790-2040. Co-hosting today is Katya from the cast of the Unscrewed Theater.
Hello.
It's your first time here. Welcome, welcome. And the Computer Doctor Show is sponsored by the expert technicians at Perfection Auto Works near Speedway and Craycroft. They have a free 26-point inspection. Come on by. You might see me there because I get my car fixed there too. Give them a call for an appointment, 520-323-8650. Again, 520-323-8650. We have a great show today, so we're going to get right into our tech news now. So the FCC wants their providers to rip out and replace technologies made overseas. And if you've been following the news a lot, there's a lot of pressure from countries like China and other places. And whenever there's a government agency, it's a national security thing, something that they requested last year, and there are some of their agencies actually started responding to this. So a lot of these government offices and agencies, they use contractors and common products that are manufactured in other countries. Specifically, Chinese-based companies such as Huawei Technologies and the ZTE Corporation. And this week, the FCC is offering to reimburse the agencies that had to rip out and replace their own technology. It's not an easy thing, okay? How many of us have actually had a situation where we actually had to replace all of our electronics? Okay, it's not a very, very funny thing or a fun thing to do. Okay, theoretically, things are supposed to go the way you want, but there's always some little thing that's missing. Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, all the time. I'm just like, I just did the whole taking down everything from Christmas, and I'm just imagining that, but a million times worse.
But this is like your data. This is like your stuff that you need every day. Now something that you need is like not there, and the button that you used to push to get it is no longer there. The button is now someplace else. So you have to get used to doing. It's just like buying a new car or a new computer. But think about you having to replace all of your machinery or all of your electronics all at once.
Yeah. Well, I'm also curious, Britain and plenty of other countries are still using Chinese technology.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if there's going to be any kind of issue with integration with things if we're still working with other countries on stuff.
Well, there are people looking into that that are way smarter than us, and they. These are people that are paid lots of money to do these integrations and these migrations. The keeping something afloat, you've heard the expression, you need to build the airplane while you're flying the airplane. Mm-hmm. That's a common thing that it's an illustrative type of thing where you have to fix something while it's running, okay? And it's not always possible. Sometimes it's easier to just build a whole nother thing and then at the right time, switch it over, But in some cases, that's possible, but not always. I know there was a video that I was watching about a radio station that had to change locations, and they were broadcasting 24/7. How did they switch from one building to another? Well, they had to build a whole nother thing, and then in the middle of the night, they switched it over, and it just passed right through, So it's not always possible. But there are interesting ways to do it. Yeah. Also, the United States, continuing on that subject, the United States will be competing in the International Cybersecurity Challenge this year. And basically, this is like a new thing. This is the first time that this is being happening where it's actually on an international scale. So it's like the Olympics. We have the Olympics where different countries, compete in different events. This is a cyber Olympics kind of thing, where the aim is to challenge and to attract young talent and raise awareness in the community and globally on the education and skills needed in the area of cybersecurity. And one thing that the IT world and cybersecurity world is they need more talented people to run technologies for the future. And that's not as easy as it sounds, because you can't always just go to universities. Okay, there's also the ideas of what people learn in a classroom versus what they're able to experiment with on their own. A big difference is the kid that's in their mom's kitchen or in their mom's garage or someplace or in their room conducting experiments in their bedroom, versus the kid that only opens up the book and answers the questions from the test correctly. So there's those two types. So what type do you think that the companies really want? They want the experimenters, right? Mm-hmm. And it's blatantly obvious in some of these competitions of who the imaginers are, okay? Who these people that have that extra stuff in their mind, and they're wired in such a way that they're able to, see their way through cracking codes and things like this,
Yeah. I mean, I think the really important question is what the team uniform is going to look like. Are we going to go for more of like a Matrix style or something a little more modern?
That's good. They should go sci-fi. They should definitely go sci-fi. I don't know if they want to go, I don't know if DC Comics or Marvel Comics or any of those types of superheroes, but they also have to be able to think. But if they wear outlandish costume, because they're going to all be in the same row, if they wear enough outlandish costumes enough, they'll throw off the other team because they won't be able to concentrate.
Yeah, it'll be so distracting.
Yes, to distract. See, distraction is part of cybersecurity. So much of making tricks work and breaching security systems is by doing just old-fashioned, hey, look at that, and then you're actually doing something over here, Mm-hmm. So if the goal is to win, is to throw off the other teams, then hey, what you wear obviously can do. But so far there are 13 countries that are listed so far as in the competitive list. And there's going to be athletes and coaches and industry leaders. People are going to be watching this. And the cyber team that's going to be representing the United States is going to be called the U.S. Cyber Team. Okay, that's kind of
incredibly original name.
I was expecting to say, but what are some of the other names? And I also want to know what the trophy is going to look like the team that wins it all. What's the trophy going to look like?
I hope it's like the best data core that anyone could ever ask for.
The best data core, or it could be like an Earth, maybe like a ball, like an Earth, like you're like the ruling the cyber world or something like that. That'd be cool. All right. Next there is this $1 million van that's being used in Phoenix right now to detect cracks and potholes in the street. And when I saw this was broadcast by a TV news station in Phoenix, and they covered it very, very well. Basically, it's a Mercedes Sprinter van, and it has all these extra boxes and all this extra equipment on it. And all these equipments are pointing down to the street. And as this van drives through towns and through streets, it's detecting all the bumps and all the crevices, all the cracks, everything that's in the street. So we were talking before the show, Katya. So I volunteered for $1 million to drive around the streets of Phoenix and report all of the cracks and all of the potholes.
Yeah.
Okay. I might need a teammate. You could be on my team.
We could work together, split it.
But here's the thing. It seems like an easy job, but apparently it's more technical than that, because they also have to look at the soil underneath, and they also have to determine the qualities and all that. And they say that they get that data. Basically, this is implemented to save money for the city of Phoenix. So instead of having to pay an engineering company to scour all the streets looking for possible repairs, now they can have this machine do it. And that combined with people complaining, right?
Yeah, we were talking about it, and we're like, what they're really doing is just seeing how bad they can let it get before people complain. So they're getting it down to a science of like, this is how deep the pothole can be before we get flooded with complaints.
Now that could work in the opposite thing. So they can try to eliminate complaints by keeping the roads in good enough repair, just above the level of complaints. But once they get up to that level, the safety is like, off to the side somewhere. But if it's just to stop the complaints, that's one thing. So that would be actually pretty good. But this vehicle is called the Aran, and my name is Aaron, and this van is called Aran, but it's spelled ARAN, stands for Automated Road Analyzer. And it has GPS, infrared cameras, sophisticated equipment on it. And so far, it has traveled about 5,000 miles in the streets of Phoenix. And I'm still volunteering to make more complaints. So with that, we're going to take our first break, midway commercial break, with a word from our sponsors. Up next, the new Star Wars Hotel, what to expect and the cost, and the real world vehicle celebrates its anniversary. This is the Computer Doctor Show.
Hey, dude, I just love having nothing to do, man.
I love your man cave. It's so cool. Hey, what's that noise, man? It's coming from the garage.
Oh, no, man, it's Christine. She's upset about something. Hey, I'll be right back. Hey, what are you upset about? I'm always good to you.
Stop it. I need some love. Quit taking me to those quirky lube places.
You're ramming me.
It's time you started taking care of me.
Stop it.
I need a lube job. I can't wait for my transmission flush.
Ooh.
And buddy, I need a rear end service and an alignment so bad my tires shake. I need a spa day at Perfection Auto Works.
Okay. I'll take you to Perfection Auto Works.
If your car could talk, what would she say to you? Make your car purr by having it serviced at Perfection Auto Works today. Our free 26-point inspection will have your car covered from bumper to bumper. 323-8650 and perfectionautoworks.com.
Computer Doctor of Tucson is the best choice in desktop support in Tucson. They fix error messages, power and boot problems, install of software and hardware, and much more. You can come to them, or they can come to you, or even have a remote support session so they can fix your issues over the phone quickly. Give them a call at 261-5508, 261-5508. Visit them on the web at computerdoctortucson.com. Computer Doctor of Tucson, because technology is great when it works.
Welcome back to the Computer Doctor Show, your source for scam awareness, science, and cutting-edge technology talk. I'm Aaron Moss, your host, along with Katya, co-hosting today from the Unscrewed Theater. The law is on our side today. Well, not today. That was last week. I am reading my stuff from last week. Can you believe that? Actually, I do have a good experience. So I was at the right across the street from the Computer Doctor Show office. There's this Mexican restaurant, and I eat there almost every day. And yesterday I go through the drive-thru. I get my typical carne asada burrito. I get to the drive-thru. I pay with my card, and she takes the card and she says, "What's your PIN number?" I said, "No." No, I'm not going to give you my PIN number. I've been well trained. I'm not going to. So it turns out their internet was down, and I think the girl was a little bit new, so she didn't exactly know what to do. So for some reason, the machine reverted to some sort of PIN number configuration that did that. So I came inside. I came inside the store because we were having some problems at the window, and I ended up having to pay cash, but I didn't have all the money, so they just had to accept what I had. But this goes out to now. This isn't the first time it's happened. I've had this happen at another a Mexican restaurant where their internet went down too. I don't know what it is with Mexican restaurants in this town where their internet goes down, and then but this other place, they didn't ask for PIN numbers. They were writing people's credit card numbers out on a piece of paper.
Yeah, I've seen them do that.
Yeah, but you shouldn't do that.
No.
You can't do that. So what is the solution? If your internet goes down, you're running a business or like a restaurant or something, what can you do to process credit cards if you have no internet? So the answer is, do you know what the answer is? I can tell you.
Don't.
Okay. There's usually a cell phone app with that is maybe connected with your credit card. I can't think of the word. With your credit card company that you use to accept credit cards, there's usually an app that's associated with your account. And you can always do a call authorization. Before the days of internet, there were still credit cards. See, credit cards were existing before internet. So what did they do before internet? They had to call in authorizations. And these call-in authorizations are still in existence. If you are a merchant, that's what I'm thinking of. If you are a credit card merchant, on your statement someplace in your in the company that handles your credit card processing, they usually have a phone number somewhere in the paperwork, or you can probably call their customer service for it, where you could actually call in authorizations. You'd have to type in the complete credit card number, the amount, all the information on the telephone keypad, and then they will give you an authorization number that you write down the authorization number, and then you can close out your machine with that authorization number that they provided you with at the end of the day, or whenever services come back in, you can key that into your machine. So do not ask your customers for customer PINs, and do not write credit card numbers for running later. Just a bad idea. Okay. We do have a caller on our line 1, Roberta. Nice to see you. Nice to hear from you again. How are you?
Thank you. I'm okay. I was thinking when you were talking about that van and the roads, is it possible to build something like that to go up and down streets and detect fentanyl or meth labs or bombs or bomb-making materials?
That is an excellent question. You know what? I'm pretty certain they may already have that technology in there. It's probably serving multiple purposes, but for the public, maybe they just said that it's for cracks and for potholes and things that the public wants. But it could be that they might be looking up tracing, and since there is infrared that's in there, it's no doubt that they can look at old tire tracks or other tracking of other things, or that it could also have cameras on there. They might be remapping neighborhoods the same way that Google does. Who knows? But excellent question, Roberta.
It would be great if they could detect those things before people get killed from them.
I agree. That it would be a great thing, but you know what? Criminals are smart. They're probably going to find another way. But thanks for calling, Roberta. So that was that $1 million van that we were talking about earlier in the show. Here, before we go into our next segment, Katya, what can you tell us about the Unscrewed Theater?
So Unscrewed Theater, we're located at 4500 East Speedway. Very big, colorful building, very hard to miss, especially if our slightly upside down sign. So tonight we're actually going to have a 7:30 show. We are only doing live streamed shows right now. We just want to be extra safe with everybody. We don't want to be any sort of super spreader event. And then next weekend we've got a 7:30 show on Friday, and then Saturday we're actually gonna have 3 shows starting at 6. And then if you are interested in seeing a cool comic book inspired show, that's actually the first one that's on Saturday next weekend.
Comic book inspired.
Yeah, we come up with a superhero and a supervillain on the spot.
Okay.
So if and I will be in that show. So if people want to do me a favor and watch the show and give suggestions for very cool like tech type powers, I would appreciate it.
Okay. Well, there you go. And if you want to do that, you can just go to unscrewedtheater.org. There you go. All right, here are some announcements. Apple opens up a new store in the city of Abu Dhabi at the Yas Mall on February 3rd, 2021. Actually, 2022. That was this year. So Abu Dhabi is in the United Arab Emirates, and we see that Apple is trying to win the market share in the Southern Asia area, which is heavily ruled by Android. Mobile phone market share for Android has more than 75% market share and is expected to reach 85% market share in 2022. So Apple is behind the ball as far as market share, but they also passed $3 trillion of value. So how can you not have the, it's just one of those things. But Android is free, and Apple is not. I don't think there's anything that Apple has that's free.
No, why would it be free if they could charge for it?
No, well, there are people that give things away for free with the hopes that it becomes a thing and then they can charge.
That's not how Apple rolls.
Okay, here is some interesting stuff. The new Star Wars hotel, and its expected cost. So, by the way, it's not really called the Star Wars Hotel. It's called the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. That is the name of the event. And it's not really a hotel. It's a resort-ish type of thing. So it's basically a 2-night voyage through the Star Wars galaxy. It's a cross between like a video game, sort of resort, sort of theme park, sort of cruise kind of. It's like a whole bunch of things that people like in their vacations all into one. And if you have kids, that's even better. But how much do you think it would cost per night, per person, to enjoy this type of adventure at Walt Disney Resorts? What do you think?
Oh, I'm gonna say it's probably pretty expensive. I'm gonna
give us expensive
for one person per night. I'm gonna say at least $500.
Okay, $1,200 per person per night for a two occupancy, and $750 per person per night for a 4-person occupancy. And there's a whole bunch of other things in there, but that's the ballpark figures, right? Now the rooms look like starship quarters, and I wonder if I can get the blue milk. I'm just wondering what that blue milk.
As long as you don't have to milk it yourself.
Yes, I saw that episode too. And also, I'm also waiting for the Back to the Future hotel. I'm waiting for that to happen too. Katya, what can you tell us about Science and Tech anniversaries with the time that we have left?
Yeah, so we've got a couple. So 4 years ago, on February 6th, 2018, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket had its first test flight. On board was a Tesla Automotive owned by Elon Musk. So he shot his own car into space.
All right, give us the other one real quick.
And then 161 years ago, the National Weather Service was formed. So that's been around for a while.
All right. And we were doing some calculations. It might actually be cheaper to build your own rocket and find that Tesla that's out there floating in space, bring it back to Earth, and then register it yourself. It might be cheaper to do that, or around the same cost to do that than it would be to actually buy one. We're still waiting for the $35,000 Tesla that's scheduled to come out next year. 2023. That was the estimate, but we'll see what happens. Before we wrap up, I just want to thank our sponsor, Perfection Auto Works, again for sponsoring our show. Stop by their location, Speedway Craycroft, for your free 26-point inspection. If you missed any part of this episode, go to computerdoctorshow.com, click on episodes, and find episode 78. My name is Aaron Moss, your host, technology expert. Katya was co-hosting today. Tom Fairbanks is at the control board. Listen to the Computer Doctor Show every Saturday with new episodes every Saturday. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Computer Doctor Show. If you missed any part of this live broadcast, we post all our episodes online at computerdoctorshow.com. Remember, the world is getting more and more tech, and so should you. To stay current with technology, listen to the Computer Doctor Show each week for local and global tech insights. If you have suggestions for a topic on a future show, send us an email at info@computerdoctorshow.com.